Father God, we come to you saying thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be married. Thank you for allowing us to have a heart to want to bless others with communicating things that we've been through, things that we've learned over the years, Lord. I pray that you bless it to others. And it doesn't be a detriment to us, Father God. Trying to be transparent. Sometimes you open yourself up to things that you can't take back, but I pray that you allow us to be honest, allow us to communicate through the camera to people that will be something for people to learn from, and let us glorify you, Lord. I know that some things can be offensive, using names or scenarios from personal experiences that people are operating and prevent others from making the same mistakes. Just will glorify you in the end, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Let's get into it. Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
It's February, the month of love, and beginning of some things here in H-Town. For those that you know. So
It's rodeo season.
yeah, it is.
My wife and I volunteered for the rodeo, so we do.
Wasn't gonna mention that, but okay.
Yeah, she always talk about keeping it real, but don't want to say nothing real. But anyway.
All right. So how are y'all doing? We're gonna talk about communication that keeps you close beyond the romance. That's what we're talking about today. And this topic, I don't know how to feel, but we're just gonna get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right?
I'm not sure if I could talk or if you're gonna cut me off, so.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so romance versus real life. I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Romance gets you started. Communication keeps you close. So what surprised you after the honeymoon phase?
After the honeymoon stage, well, what surprised me? Well, I think maybe what surprised me is that you can't make a woman happy. Like, you can't. She's,
okay.
Like,
so that's just women?
Yeah.
Or people? Or
like,
both sides?
Nah, really women are so complicated. And I've learned that not just through marriage, but just relationships with friends or parents, mother, aunties. A woman has to have her own happiness. You can't do it for her. It's weird and complicated.
Okay, so you said women are complicated. I wouldn't use complicated. I would say we have layers to us. We're not simplistic.
Yeah.
So if you're saying complicated by we have a lot going on in a positive way, I would say yes, because women are the only beings. Women are the only, male and females, between the two of us, we are the only ones that go through an evolution every 30 days hormonally. We are the only ones that create life in terms of birthing the life. So yeah, if you want to say complicated, I would agree that we're complicated, but in a layered way of giving birth. So yeah, I understand from a man's perspective, you may see that as complication. I would say we're amazing. Think about it.
I think you are amazing. I mean, if you think about it, God made the woman from us. He put Adam to sleep and made the woman from his rib. So she's not even made out of dirt. We made out of dirt, So when I think about that, that just goes to show how amazing women are. And I couldn't imagine being without a woman, but they are crazy. And the finer they are, the crazier they are. That's why you have famous people that are like most beautiful in the world, and they've been married 3 times, divorced, and
okay, yes, your opinion. So it's Unpopular Opinion with Mr. and Mrs. C, and y'all gonna continue to see this. We're gonna have different perspectives and viewpoints, and I'm not gonna disregard your view because I think it's important, but I also think true. That's your truth.
And then I'm gonna go back when you say we create life. I want to be clear that life comes from the man.
I ain't about to get into that.
The man. Life doesn't come from a woman. It comes from the man. God put the man on earth first.
Here we go.
Y'all are made for us.
Okay.
That baby comes from us to you, then to the earth. That's the order.
Okay. So romance versus reality. I want to actually circle back to that because I think we as people can be infatuated with that beginning time in terms like, oh my gosh, that infatuation in the beginning, everything's new. You're on a date. I appreciate that. Same. But I think the reality comes in. So for example, when you're on a date and it's just you and that other person and y'all are dating and you have that full attention, hopefully you're not looking at your phone and dating at the same time. Or maybe that's part of the culture where you got to answer an email because you're a business person. But the point is the distractions are limited. When you are in reality, like let's say the day-to-day, and you're a family person, you may have some laundry to do, you might have to go to work, you might have to get through traffic, the more layers you add, the more I think complicated it can be. When you're just focused on me and you having dinner, less distractions, things are great. That's the romance period. Then you get in reality, like real life, you like, oh man, well, you're not as happy as you were. Well, no, I'm not happy because I'm tired. I just got off of work. I gotta cook. I gotta clean. You want to eat some food. We didn't do a drive-through. If we did do a drive-through, we can only do it so many times because it's expensive and it's unhealthy. So I think you have to figure out a way to navigate the rocky waters because when the waters are still, it's not a lot of rocking going on the boat and it's smooth sailing. But as soon as waves hit and a storm comes, AKA reality, things like, oh, I got to get off this boat. It's too much going on. So I think it's important to be sure to dial in and to communicate. Because if you do not communicate, the other person will not know what you feel and not know what you're thinking, even though sometimes he'll say, you should know what I'm thinking. But really, I only know what you say. And your actions do speak as well, but I think it's just so many elements to it. We could be all day on that, but the romance versus reality, make sure you don't forget about that because it's easy to have your best representative for 30 days.
Yeah.
Or, on the weekend.
It's easy to fake it.
I mean...
It's like being a dad, weekend dad. You can be the coolest dad, do the coolest things as a weekend dad, but your everyday dad is different. You know what I mean?
No, and no, listen, no negativity toward if you parent on the weekends because of, whatever agreement you came to. So
yeah, I don't want to offend
not knocking that either.
Some of y'all don't have a choice.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely different.
It's a difference.
You're not going to an amusement park every weekday.
Facts.
You might do that as a weekend because it's different. Yeah, but I think communication, the thing about a woman communicating to a man is they lie a lot.
Oh, here we go. We were doing good. What you mean they? So like men don't tell stories or lies?
I could say you lie a lot, but then that would
really
mean, and I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes there's things that could be misleading that y'all do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to move on because you just, Lord have mercy. We're going to pray for him.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay out of trouble today.
I don't know why you were doing good and then you boom, hit the speed bump.
I'm going to give you an example. Communication, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to, okay, go ahead. Because the next point is where communication breaks down.
Communication can be actions as well as words, right?
Absolutely.
So you can train somebody to do things or not do things by communicating. So I remember when we were first together, I was, used to doing my own thing, military man, military woman. We have standards that we have had set for us to teach us how to do certain things. We also have the things that we learned from home that are certain things, right? So one of them was doing your laundry, taking care of that, folding your clothes, folding your towels.
So you're talking about in the military, right?
Military, before military.
Okay.
But in the military, we have the same standard. So you're taught the same way. Everybody has the same way. Somebody went to the military in 1979, probably got the same standard right here in 2026. So, you learn a certain standard, right?
Same or similar, let's say that. Because they might not have same stuff. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, see, she cut me off there. But But my point is that I remember washing the clothes as I was firefighter, worked a lot of part time, worked a lot of overtime. I was always at work, so whenever I would come home, I would do my best to help out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's washing clothes, washing whatever. I remember one particular time I took the clothes out of the dryer. I think I might have washed, dried, and it was time to fold them. I folded them, and she came home from work and unfolded the folded towels that I put up. That was 20 years ago, and asked me how many towels I folded now. Because she trained me that my
Oh,
folding the towel
gosh.
wasn't good enough, and it looked the same, but she didn't like the way I did it. I think I might have rolled and she might have folded, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, they were clean, they were put up. And I think that's one of the worst mistakes that she made in our marriage, because not a big one, but because she showed me that she didn't value what I was doing to help out. And she was already overwhelmed because we had two kids really young. At one time we had two under two. So that was very hard. So with me seeing that she's stressed out, men are about solutions. I'm like, man, I need to help out. She said she wanted help. She likes acts of service. Let me help out. And then she unhelped my help.
Okay. You done? So I can interject.
Go ahead.
All right. So what you said is true. And I agree that I definitely unfolded and folded the towels. And there's a lot. And let's go back to the layers. One, I had a touch of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, right? When you want things a certain way, like it has to be this way. And that just was how I was programmed. Whether it was upbringing in the military, I don't know. It's just my towels. I want them to look level, in line with a certain fold. And honestly, sometimes for women, the little things can give us peace. And I'm not saying I didn't value, even though my actions to you said, oh, she doesn't value, but what I wanted had nothing to do with you. Unfortunately, it's the intent and impact. My intent was for my own self to have some type of peace, but my impact was to hurt your feelings and say what you did wasn't valued. And that's just one of those things, but that you grow and you learn from. Yes, to this day, he still doesn't fold towels. So he might roll something and I let it be, but that was a learning process. In communication, you are learning each other, because sometimes people, you haven't grown to know what this person trigger are, or what makes them tick. And therefore, some people may approach it where I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm not even gonna address it in the sake of keeping the peace. But what I think can happen is if you don't address something, it's like a wound, and affection can set in. And if you never put any antibiotics on it, or you never clean that wound, it's gonna get worse. And what could happen, depending on the location of the wound, you can get something wound up cut off or amputated. So I think it's a learning lesson to just tread lightly, communicate what you said to me, not only in your actions by not folding towels, but what he immediately said was, the way I fold towels ain't good enough, and he was angry. I let him simmer down some, and I said, honey, from my recollection, I may or may not at that moment, but eventually I said, I appreciate you folding the towels. However, this is how I want them to fold. If you're going to fold them, can you fold them like this, or don't fold them at all? And he said, okay, I won't fold them at all. And he yet says, it don't fold towels. But that's just a process that you can learn and grow from. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned that you didn't like the way I folded towels.
And 20 plus years, we can look back at that and say, well, okay, look how we grew. Just like parents. Yeah. When you're a parent and your kid, let's say your kid in middle school, and you see somebody with kindergarten parents, there's some things you learn when your kids were kindergarten. You'll be like, oh, when my baby was in kindergarten, or when my son was in first grade, or when I was potty training or working on bedtimes routine, this is what worked for me. And you share, because you have grown past a situation, and you can now share and help somebody else. And
if they're willing to listen.
If they're willing to listen. Because sometimes what they say, unsolicited opinion or unsolicited advice, comes off
as judgment.
As judgment.
Yeah, Brother Mickey, I appreciate that. That was good.
I would say Sunday school teacher, but yes, I agree. So moving on, communication that actually keeps you close. What are some things, because we talked about how we learned and how we got over it. So what are some communication areas when, let's say somebody's having some difficulties with communicating and they're figuring out a way to address it. If they haven't got there, how do the step before the problem, so to speak. So communication that can keep you close. So before something blows up, what's a way to communicate with someone before it becomes like this big, like tornado or storm? Let's say before it starts, like when the storm is coming, it drizzles before the rain pours down. So before the bottom falls out, what are some things you can do to protect yourself from the storm of communication? Just say it like that.
I don't know if this is really answering the question, but a couple things. Don't go to bed angry, which is a big thing. Make sure that you have that adult time. I think it's important whether you're mad or not. Don't ever withhold that time from one another, because remember, as a married couple, his body is her body is his body. You know.
No, they don't.
Hopefully I said that right. He belongs to you, sis, and you belong to him, sis. That's not your body no more. That's the other person's body.
From a Christian perspective, there are principles in what you're talking about. So let's make sure we quantify it, because everybody watching this, and that's our view, we are Christians, from the perspective of like the rights to your body or so. But there are some other layers to it. So let's not just make it cut and dry.
What are some other layers?
So I think there could come a point, like if you like, personally, if I'm like, man, I'm tired, or this is an ailment.
You can be tired.
I understand that's your perspective.
You could be asleep if you.
If
you give me permission, you could be asleep.
There we go. So stop.
You just tired.
So you just said
you could watch TV.
Okay, so you just said if you give
me, on your phone.
So you just said if you give me permission, and what sometimes people may say, well, the Bible said, you know, your body's not yours, so roll over. You know, like you gotta be careful with what you say.
You should roll over.
Should.
Yeah.
But the I guess I wouldn't say I guess in a
Go ahead and say the Bible's wrong. Just
I'm not saying that, but let me finish what I'm saying. There's some pillars and some So if you really want to talk biblical, you can't just isolate one scenario, because at the end of the day, love is kind, love is patient, love endures. So you gotta also incorporate that as well. I'm not saying
patiently waiting on you to roll over.
Oh my goodness. I would say, to help before the problems, I asked you a question and you went, I don't even know if you answered it, but if you're asking me, I would say effective ways with communication would be what I consider like the T's, the tone, the timing, and I also say the touch, right? So if I'm really, really mad, or you really, really mad, and we're having a real heated discussion, you know, our leadership has said this is how he grabs his wife's hands and he prays with her, because it's kind of hard to be yelling and fighting when someone grabs your hand.
Black women gonna try to hit you.
Here we go. Can you just simmer down? Let me finish.
That's why he grabs her hands. He's scared. He done had them hands before.
You grab someone and you pray with them. So that would be the touch. And the tone, like if I'm hurting or sad or vice versa, and I start yelling at you, that's not gonna be helpful.
Right.
And then the timing. And this is, I think, a learned behavior as far as timing. Like if I'm in the midst of something or you're in the midst of something, timing is important. I'm not saying wait 4 days, 5 days, or even 3 hours.
Yeah.
But have a gentle aspect to it, have some empathy, and try to approach it at the most appropriate time. And that's gonna look different for everybody. What I don't think you should do is let it like fester and linger. Yeah. You know, like you said, don't go to bed angry. It's best as you can. Like there's been plenty of times you could have fried an egg on my forehead. I was so mad. But I just had to swallow my anger, if that's even a thing, but metaphorically speaking, and try to just have some peace and talk to my father first, and then make it so that I can get through the night. Because I mean, my flesh is on fire. Like, I just want to, you know, do something ungodly or, you know, unchristian like, but then my spirit in me is like, you know better. You know when you're doing something wrong. You know when it don't line up. It's something inside you, like, you know better. And sometimes you try to block it out, like, la, 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 and that's not gonna work either. So I guess, again, tone, time, touch.
Okay, I like that. And going back to that, hopefully, another part of communication that I think men often fail at is leaving. Hey, bro, I don't care how mad you are. Well, I do care how mad you are. If you think things are about to get physical and you can't prevent it from getting physical, like you feel like you're going to put your hands on her or she going to put her hands on you, and it's not like something that you could, you know, deal with without retaliating, then, you know, then leave. But if you could help it, don't leave. Leaving makes the mind wander. It makes her think, are you over there with that big booty girl from the gym? Are you at your co-worker's house? Or you at your homeboy house with the fine sister, or, you know, who got a girlfriend with a friend? It's a lot of things that can make the mind wander when you leave. If you just stay, maybe go to another room, maybe go outside, man, smoke a cigar, or, you know, just don't do anything destructive.
That's real.
That right there could alleviate a lot. Women too. Stop going to your mama house. Your mama's not in your marriage. Your sister's not in your marriage. You got no business going over there. You go where you pay bills, where you live, where your name is on the deed or on the lease. That's where you need to be. So if you could prevent it, do not leave. Stay there. Don't leave that person wondering what you're doing, because we all know women got some dude that's been waiting to be with them since middle school. And at any time, that dude is waiting on that phone call or that DM on Facebook. And once you go there, man, it's too far. You can't come back.
So what I want to add is, I'm not going to disagree with what you said, but I will say, in your mind, you are. So what I would like to say is that if you do need to, like, step away or take, some people need a training time out. Some people just need, like, I just need a moment. I mean, to walk around the block.
I made room for that.
Okay.
But you remember when you left? You remember what happened?
I don't know what time. Because I mean, and let me just be real transparent. We're not saying this because we perfect. We saying because we have walked the path. We have been out in the storm. You know, he ain't walked around with Home Depot or Walmart back in the day because there was nowhere else to go. Ain't no telling where I went. I definitely got my shoes on and took a whole trip. But I think that it just, look, like this marriage thing, this couple thing, it is not for the faint of heart. Nah, you know, you have to really work at it. And the thing is, you could be at a job, you could detest your boss, you could be in your cubicle, typing in it, like, you just, like, every word they say, you cussing them out in your head. But you don't quit.
You preaching.
You quit. I need this check.
That job and you freaking bear it. But as soon as you come home, now you all big and tough and you want to quit. But you won't quit that job. That job ain't paying you right, ain't treating you right, don't care about you. If you quit, they would not care. The people that's your friends at that job probably won't even call you or text you. They might just call you and text you to find out, if just to be nosy, if you got another job or something like that. But 6 months in, they ain't checking on you. They might not even like your stuff on Facebook. But you'll go home and treat the person that's closest to you, that you're supposed to say that you love and that you care about, like trash. Make it make sense. Come on now. Can't do that.
I would agree. And I think there's also, you know, trauma and other reasons why we hurt the people that are closest to us. Real talk. So I just want to make sure we say, like, look, we are not perfect. We're just, again, in his head, we are just trying to be transparent and just talk about it, like real truth, real unpopular opinion, real conversations. That's what this is. It really is. And I also want to make sure that I say, if you guys are getting anything from this, whether it's like you getting something that you can use, or, you know, you want to be able to share it, make sure you like, you comment. I really want to see what y'all got to do. What y'all think, because I get a lot of text messages, and so does he, and phone calls, and we appreciate those. straight up, please keep them coming. But we also want you guys to like and comment on the video itself.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, where you just hear it. But if you want to see it, it's YouTube. If you want to listen, if you're listening right now on Spotify or Apple or any other where you find podcasts, we appreciate you. And so, and we just keep checking us out. And in reference to that, also sponsorships. If you want to line up with who we are and what we represent, and you want to spotlight something that you got, just hit us up. You can always email us or even drop us a DM on Instagram or TikTok. So, any last thoughts that you want to leave?
Definitely. If you don't cut me off this time,
you are the hashtag.
So my sister had a question, and she said on social media, I told her I was going to put this on there. How often should a couple, she said a couple, but I'm going to say a married
Here we go.
couple.
I already know what's coming.
How often should a married couple have adult time? I'm going to phrase it like that. Hopefully you guys can read in between the lines. How often should a married couple have adult time?
So let's be PG-13, and let's make sure we keep in mind that are all walks of life watching and listening, right? I say it's between that couple, because people sometimes between age and health have various things going on.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be hormonal. You know, your wife could have, something go on with her female reproduction, which makes her hormones off and she's a little unbalanced. And by the way, women, ladies, check your hormones. Just have your doctor run a panel and just make sure you're okay with hormones, because sometimes they want to do blood panels to see if you're anemic, your cholesterol, which are all good things.
Men too. Get your levels
things. But sometimes our hormones can be off balance, and we go through a cycle every 30 days. So ain't no 26 to 28, depending on, I'm not a medical expert, so somewhere in there, you know what I mean. Be sure to keep abreast of your health, because that's important too, and that ties into all things like drive, aka libido, and so all that matters. But to answer the question, I think it depends on the needs of that couple.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people drive, expectation, desires may be high and the other one is low, and y'all meet in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think the other person should feel abused and taken advantage of, and I also don't think on the other hand, the person should feel like they're undesired or unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So it's a communication thing. It's a partnership thing, and it's a compromise. So there's no number specifically, because it's unique to that person.
I really don't like that word compromise, because oftentimes that means the man is compromising and reducing himself.
Not true.
I'm just saying my opinion.
Okay.
Because so oftentimes, it's nothing that lowers a woman's sex drive more than wedding cake. Because before that wedding, you was busting that thing open, and you weren't supposed to. But now all of a sudden you have that wedding cake, all of a sudden you don't want to have sex no more.
Unpopular opinion with Mr. C. First of all, whatever you're saying, okay, but I'm not going to advocate for sex before marriage. People do it. We've done it, not agreeing that that's something that should be done, right? And honestly, think about it. If you out here in the world, of course it's going to be appealing and easy and great. And then when you become under a covenant, the right way you do it, there's going to be challenges, because the world is against what it represents. So I think sometimes, just like how people may see somebody on TV, like, oh man, if this was my girl, that girl, or whatever, it's not reality. Reality is what's in living color. So those expectations, I think, can be set falsely when you do things outside of a covenant, because truly, if you don't have those type of relationships before the covenant, then you're not even comparing and contrasting. All you know is what you started with under this covenant.
That's true. I would agree. I think that's one of the main takeaways is, like, you start having a bunch of partners, you start comparing your partner for the lifetime to those short part-time, and that could be a detriment to your future. because, you know, there's a lot of things out there that some you can't undo, you can't unthink.
Can't
And
unsee.
say, yeah, you can't unsee. And then you get with somebody else and they might have 80-90% of everything that you dream of, but they don't have that 10% that ex had or something like that. And that could really be bad. And then, you know, to go back to, you know, I think pornography is one of the things that is misleading to men because it's so available that it could have you thinking that women enjoy certain things that they don't even like. But you watch that and you like, oh man, she is loving that. She's enjoying that. And so then you thinking that you doing something and you have to learn the woman that you're with, not the actress that's there to make you think that everything is great. So
they are actresses and actors.
And that could really ruin your relationship watching that. And me, I'm gonna be transparent. I was addicted to pornography because every time she say no, I go running to that. And it actually took me replacing pornography with the Bible and reading my Bible and praying. And every time I would have that urge, that feeling, I would have to go to the Bible because it was just too much. And I hope that blesses somebody. I put myself out there real tough, but yeah, as a married man, you get told no more than anything. As a single man, you could call up, oh, you say no, next, you say, oh, you free? Because that's how it goes. There's so many women out there, and I'm not edifying this, but I'm saying you can have a rotation. As a married man, your rotation is your wife, you know, and she could be the girlfriend too. She could be the side piece too, but I tell you that going the other way can get you in a lot of trouble, and it'll ruin your family, and it could be detriment to a lot of things. So
I'm sorry for chuckling because the whole side piece thing, because when we first met, he had a hobby or what have you, and I used to call that his side piece, and he still has a hobby, and I call that the girlfriend, and I'm a girlfriend too, so I'm like, you get to have two side pieces. Yeah. And so I remember we were in the nail shop or something, I don't know, we were somewhere, and I'm like, you going out with your girlfriend? And you know how they be out there, and they everybody pause. You know when people act like they're not listening, and then when you say something, they like stop doing what they're doing for a little bit, and they pause, and you know they listening. So it's just really interesting how that can still be a thing too. Like you can still have fun being married. Like I don't mind being the girlfriend. I don't mind being the wife. I can be all things because this is my husband and I'm his wife, and we should be what each other needs. That's
her
just
body is mine.
Oh, here we go.
But I want you to answer the question clearly though. So
what do you mean?
How often do you think? Not everybody is.
No, I gave you my answer.
That's your answer?
That is my answer.
Okay.
Because that's my real answer, because everybody is different.
So I'm gonna give you my answer.
Oh, here we go.
And this is probably hard. And this is why I think some women say they want to be married and they don't want to be married, because you don't know what married women have to go through. I want my wife a lot.
Okay, so just stop right there, because we don't got to get nobody TMI.
When I say a lot, I mean a lot.
Okay, like that's enough. Okay.
4 times a lot when I'm off, and at least once every day, a lot. And I know that everybody's not like that, especially at our age, but I think, you know, you do your marriage a disservice when you send your husband out the house and he's not full of food and empty. I want you to read between the lines. Full of food and empty. Those two things, you send your man out in the world, he comes back, and everything will be good. You send him out hungry, there could be some things that could go wrong.
This is going to be a conversation we're going to circle back to, because I think there's more to this, and we don't even have enough time to really get into it. But I think it's going to be important to really talk about it and to really dive in and to dissect what you're saying. But for now, that's it.
I ain't done.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
If you can't give your husband the last 7 to 10 minutes of your night, right? You can give your time to church, to work, to kids, to dishes, to this, to that. You just name it. You got all this stuff. If you can't carve out 7 to 10, I know some of y'all saying 7 to 10 minutes, what you could do with that? You could take care of him in 7 to 10 minutes. Now, if you want to be taken care of, that's a different thing, but that's your choice. Give that man 7 to 10 minutes a day of undivided attention and watch how good your marriage flourishes.
So there's so much more to that. And again, I'm gonna leave y'all on the cliffhanger because I got so much to say. But if you want to hear what the rest
7
of
to 10,
you're gonna have to check us back out when we come back and circle this around. So that's it, y'all. It's been Unpopular Opinion with Mr. and Mrs. C.
7 to
10. And 7 to 10 is that's his song. That's gonna go ahead and sing. You gonna make you a song.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay.
7 to 10 for the win.
Here we go. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check us out on all social media platforms.
Remember, that's 7 to 10.
That's it, y'all. Bye. Go ahead.
7 to 10. 7 to 10 for the win, for the win.
Come on.
7 to 10. 7 to 10. 7 to 10 for the...
Unpopular opinion.